How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today for a little chat.
Hey, I can't wait. I'm excited. I feel like in lockdown you do fill your days, but you don't know how. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what I've been doing, but I've been doing things.
Time just goes.
Yeah, lots of socially distanced walks, to be honest. Never walked so much in my life, but it's like the only way you can see your friends. So,
Talk us through your training and career then so far.
okay, I've had like a really unique training journey. So I went to a performing arts sixth form that my parents happened to run called the Jam Academy, and then I went to Oxford School of Drama, and I found this school called Associated Studios, and then I graduated, got an agent, and I like kind of did bits for a year. I was auditioning loads, but I just wasn't quite getting like as far as I wanted to. And so I was like, okay, maybe I need more training. So then I applied for the Royal Academy of Music, musical theatre course last year, really late. The applications had shut, the auditions had shut. And I was like, please, can I just audition? And they let me. Um, and then I got a place and I went and it was the best. Well, it wasn't a year because Corona, but it was the best time ever. And then, yeah, and then I booked rent while I was there, and I was gonna have to leave early, but then lockdown happened. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. I feel like I kind of did like 3 years drama school training, but at different schools. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that was my journey, and it really worked for me. But yeah, Rent was like my first like big musical job, but it wasn't like the first. So I feel like a cheat when I'm like, oh, this is my first job because it's not really, but it kind of is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
Rent, yeah, your first big contract, I guess.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice. So what was the audition process like?
It was through my agent. So I saw that it was coming out, and I did email her, and I was like, "Oh, I want to be seen for this," which I don't often do, but that time I just did for some reason. And so I got an audition, and it was actually the shortest audition process I've ever had. It was mad. So I went in. They asked for two pop songs. I sang both, and then this hasn't really happened to me before, but then they were like, can you come and sit down, we want to like have like a chat. And I was like, okay, cool. So I had a chat with the director, Luke Shepherd, who was lovely, and it was just very chill. He was just asking about some of the stuff on my CV. He was asking if I danced, and I was like, depends how much. So yeah, that was my first round, and then the recall was actually the final, um, which is mad. Like that's kind of unheard of to just do 2 rounds.
Ah.
Um, so yeah, for the final, it was a dance call, which was so much fun because the choreographer like did a warm up with us, and it was just really good. Like it was like taking a class, which is again like unheard of. Auditions are not that fun. And then this is the plot twist. They were like, okay, if you like think that you're more of a singer, can you stay? And obviously everyone wants the job, so everyone stays. Um, and they were like, okay, we're just going to sing the end of Seasons of Love, like, you know, the high note one at a time. So we'd all just like dance for over an hour. We're all sweaty and gross, stand up one at a time and have to like belt the end of Seasons of Love. Um, yeah, so I was like so nervous, but I just wanted it so bad. So I was just like, yeah. And then that happens to be my solo in the show now, which is nice.
That's the best bit.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah, I
best
know.
bit. That bit and in the market scenes like leather bags.
That's my bit as well.
Oh my gosh. Double whammy.
Because there's only 4 ensemble, we're actually very featured. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's why we're called featured ensemble, but we kind of have to do every little bit. So I had that solo in I'll Cover You reprise that's like, with 1,000 sweet kisses, I'll cover you, all of that bit. The bag lady, the like, yeah, just lots of little cameos basically.
So Rent then, you get the job. What happens then?
Yes, this was, I think it was the day before my birthday, which is March 6th.
What a
Um,
nice birthday present.
oh yeah, it was incredible. I was like, um, so yeah, I got the job, and then weirdly, I was in a weird position where I actually didn't know whether to take it because I happened to be in for like a few big jobs at the same time, and there was another show that I was in finals for, um, but the finals were after the deadline I had to tell rent by. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
okay.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, oh, I don't know what to do, and then I also was supposed to be doing this big film. Um, but they hadn't like had it set in stone yet, so I didn't have a contract for that. So it was all like I really wanted it, but I was really like, oh, I don't know what to do. But then it all worked out really nicely because I ended up saying yes to Rent. Um, the film got pushed back because of COVID, so if that happens, I get to do both. Um, yeah, and then the other show didn't happen because of COVID, so it was yeah, Rent was the best thing I could have done. I'm so glad I took it.
So when did you you found out in March, and then when did you
Yeah.
start rehearsals?
So we started rehearsing in September, did we? Yes, to end of September, um, and then through to October, and then we opened and did 5 performances.
So you had, I guess those um, four of them were previews, were they?
Yeah, 4 previews, and then opening, like official opening press night was closing night as well, which was madness.
Luckily, it got filmed.
Yeah, I just think it was such a blessing, actually, the timing of it. We got to do exactly the amount of filming that we had planned to do anyway. Um, and if lockdown had been announced 1 week earlier, none of it would have happened. So I just feel like really blessed that we even got to open. We got to film. We filmed 3 shows, and then we did a few like close up bits like during the day of just like details that you wouldn't catch just from a wide shot. Um, so yeah, and the film, I don't know if you've seen the trailer, but I was like blown away when I saw the trailer. I was like, wow. So
Yeah.
it should be, it looks really good. It's good quality, I think. Because I think, I don't know if you've seen, but on the way it was directed is that we're on stage for the entire show. So just having like the buzz of the people sat around the stage, just constantly like, we constantly had to like give our energy. And so it just keeps the thing alive the entire show. Like
Yeah.
there's no like break in like energy. Do you know what I mean? It's really, it was exhausting for us, but it's really, really worth it. I think it was a great direction choice.
So how was it being filmed? What was that like? Being filmed on a stage production?
Just the pressure really got to me. The pressure of like, you have to do this perfect because thousands of people are going to sit at home and watch this. And I think I let that get to me a bit, which was annoying. But the fact that they filmed 3 shows was great because I'm sure I got it right in one of them.
So what's your team like? What's your cast like?
Honestly, incredible. I know every show is like, yeah, we're a family, but like because of the unique situation we were in, where we were in this house, I mean, that's living with the people you work with was mental, but just we were in such a pressured kind of unique situation where you kind of had to rely on each other emotionally, and so we just formed the most incredible bond, and like the love in that cast was so genuine. um we because we went through so much together, and it was like this hope of getting to do it for ages, and then we all found out together and just kind of sat on the floor of the kitchen and cried and drank wine, and then do you know what I mean, and it was just, we're really, really close, honestly. We're still on the group chat every single day. We have a group Zoom every week just to check in on each other. Um, and it's not the end, I'm allowed to say. So we will be back together at some point. But yeah, it's I feel really blessed that we were that. It just happened to be a group of 12 lovely people, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess you were in a house because of COVID.
The point where even like after the show we weren't allowed to like go and see people. So you know, if it was normal circumstances during the day, we would be out like socializing or go and see people who we know live up north, or but no, we had to spend all of our time together. And because it was such a short experience, we didn't get to that point where you start to get annoyed. It just didn't exist. Like we just, because we knew it was going to end, it was like the love amplified through that last week.
That's such a special experience. That's such a special positive thing to come out of COVID.
Yeah, it was. I went into it knowing that this is like a once in a lifetime. I will never be in a unique situation like that again. So yeah, I mean, even I don't know what will happen if and when we go back, but the likelihood of it still being a lockdown is I don't know. I don't know if we'll all be put in a house together again. So I definitely cherish those moments and the videos that I have. I'll keep them forever.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear. Tonight, whilst we chat and whilst people are watching this, I will be watching you on stage. We're gonna, I know, pressure. No, we're gonna dress up. We're gonna have some drinks. We're gonna pretend like we're going to the theatre.
Oh, I love
We really
that.
can't wait. On the website, it says that you're only selling the amount of seats that the theatre would hold.
Yeah, so it was really funny actually because people kept saying to me, obviously the theatre were like it's limited tickets, and people were like that they're obviously lying, like they obviously just want to sell it out and then release more, etc. So I said to the producers, I was like, is it actually limited? And they were like, it is actually limited to how many we could have sold if we had full capacity every night, and that's just because of the rights. So they legally are they cannot release more than they have. So yeah, it's I've bought a few tickets because I don't want to watch it like all the time, but I want to be able to watch it like again. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, it's really exciting. I'm really excited to see it. If like the guidelines, what's the word? Relax after lockdown. We want to do like a cast get together and watch the last show all together.
Yeah.
If we're allowed, because that would be really nice. But I
So, are you nervous about seeing yourself back?
yes. I've kind of relaxed about it, but I was quite like anxious about I don't know, like filmed footage just seems so permanent.
Because you're on stage the whole time, I bet there's going to be things that you'll pick up on that other people do that you didn't quite realize from like
Oh,
different angles and
I've already seen in the trailer like stuff I didn't know happened. Just because I get my one angle of the show for the whole thing. So watching bits of the trailer, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that bit that you do. I had no idea. Do you know what I mean? I had no idea that it was in there.
it's the market scene where you have like three or four different conversations going on.
It's chaos. And I was saying actually to people in the cast that I don't think there's a way of directing it where you can understand everything. Like, I just don't think it exists because of how it's written.
Yeah.
It's chaos. It's absolute chaos. I mean, there's bits where I think it was our final show where things clicked for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, that means that da 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 da. And I was like, there is stuff that I probably still don't know about the show. But I did a version of it last year, like a charity. It was like we put it on in a week version, and I played Joanne in that one. Um, and on our final performance, I realised that Angel killed the dog. And I know that's stupid, but I just, because that number Today for You is so chaotic and you're so blown away by the routine and the song, but yeah, I just clocked. I was like, oh my gosh, Angel killed the dog. Yeah, that happens in that show. That really does happen. I think it's quite a complicated show.
But that's why we love it. So it gives you a reason to go back again because it's not going to be the exact same. You're not going to see the exact same thing. You're going to
Exactly.
pick up different things and
Yeah.
yeah.
And the way that ours is staged, we are doing bits on the side kind of the whole time. Like there's this tiny moment in oh, what's the song? Would You Like My Candle? And it's all about Mimi and Roger, and it's really special. But the cast around, and you'll only notice, I guess, if you're looking for it, where they say stuff like cold hands and Mimi breathes and we all do a breath with her, but it's so subtle. Um, and so there's bits throughout the entire show where we're doing these really subtle things. And I guess you would have to watch it more than once to see like all of those little details.
Mm.
Get another ticket.
I was just going to say, if you're thinking of buying a ticket, buy two. How do you feel then that you kind of did your previews, did your opening and closing night in the same night, and then you're supposed to be going there to perform every night now until December?
Yeah, mid-December. Yeah, it's it was coming home was really weird. Because it wasn't just like coming home from like a happy time and then going back to your normal life. It was this extreme of coming home from this absolute high and
Yeah.
going home to lockdown. It was like this dramatic. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like a normal shift of a job. It was like, whew. So that was really hard. Um, but I think, you know, when we got told that it was that we'd have to close because of Boris's announcement that he made however many times, um, we the producers did say like this is just a pause, it's not a stop. And so there is a lot of hope in the show. There's a lot of like, well, we know it's not over, which really helps. I don't know if you've seen, but we're doing some workshops for free for people on Zoom, and I'm helping with the music one, and there's a choreography workshop, and we're releasing stuff every week. So I guess that's nice. They've really tried to like keep momentum and spirit up and stuff, which is good.
Yeah, and that's again, that's another positive from COVID because when would a theatre would a company that have put on this big show have the time or
Yeah,
reason to kind of give this content out?
so true. Like you just wouldn't. I think it's incredible. The We had this like Zoom of just kind of coming up with ideas of stuff that we could release throughout the coming weeks, and we've got like Makeup Mondays where you get to see how they created the makeup for like Angel or any of the characters, and then there's like Wardrobe Wednesdays where you see all the designs and stuff like that. And I just think like, yeah, when would we have done that otherwise? And I think it's also nice and inspiring for those who love theatre but don't necessarily want to perform. It gives you like an opportunity to see what else there is in the industry. And we're going to have like a chat with the lighting designer and the sound designer, and I think it would just be really nice to inspire people who maybe want to do other avenues, not just being on the stage. But
What
yeah,
about
it's
Chi
really
Chi
cool.
Tuesday? Does that have a nice ring? Chi Chi Tuesday?
Yeah, I don't think we do anything on Tuesdays. Oh, we do the takeovers, but that's kind of separate. So
I could do like a rent Chi Chi class. How are
yeah,
we keeping fit in your lockdown 2.0?
yeah, just like do your fitness thing to like La Vie Boheme or something.
Oh my God, I'm down with that.
I love that. I'll put it forward in our next Zoom.
Do Chi Chi Tuesdays. It's got a nice ring to it. So what's next
We've got like a penciled in kind of
thing?
idea, so that is hopeful. I can't really say when or what that is, but that's kind of in there, which is kind of keeping spirits up. And then I'm just back to like auditioning and back to self taping, and I've got one on Monday and I've got a self tape to film after this, and it's just kind of back to the hustle and bustle of the industry really. I teach because I love teaching. Like it's literally my biggest passion. So I'm I actually get quite excited that I get to go back to teaching and teaching singing and musical theatre and stuff. But yeah, it's just kind of mulling along until the next thing comes up. I hear stories all the time of like, oh, I went to this audition and they asked me how many Instagram followers I have, and it's such a horrible feeling to kind of put that pressure on yourself of, oh, if I do this, I might get more followers or da 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 da. And I really actually have to consciously take myself out of that mentality, um, because really shouldn't matter. And I really hope the industry stops going in that direction because it's not nice at all. I think social media is really bad for your mental health if you use it too much.
Yeah, I agree. However, like looking on your Instagram and your lovely little videos with your guitar and your pup, and you know,
Oh,
it's a really nice way of kind of getting to know you and
yeah.
just I think the main thing is trying to get your personality across.
You've got to be authentic and stay who you are. Otherwise, you'll just get sucked into the gross part of it.
So do you have any advice?
Oh, it's such a hard one because I really struggle with like self-esteem and confidence and all of that. Like, I'm not shy about saying that. I mean, even in Rent, the director like would give us notes after the show, and I went up to him after one performance and I was like, "Hi Luke, what's my notes?" And he was like, "Same as yesterday, just believe in yourself," and walked off. So I was like, okay. Um, but I think it really has to come from you. I was getting to a point where it didn't matter what anybody said to me. It didn't matter how much praise I got. If I didn't believe it, like nothing was going to change. So it's actually been like a really recent thing for me, the confidence thing, and just being like, actually, I can do this.
Okay, let's round things off with your dream role.
Okay, I actually only have one show that I really want to do, but I'm too young right now. In the future, I need to be Dolores in Sister Act. One day, that just, oh, that is, I love that show so much. And the films just inspired me so much when I was younger. So that is the dream. One day.
And what a good dream that is. So when you come to Chit Tuesday, we do our warm up to Fabulous Baby.
Do you?
Yeah,
That was my showcase song for my agent showcase this year. So
amazing.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing.
I have another question actually.
Yeah.
Speaking of songs that we love, what was your audition songs for Rent?
I sang a song called Forever Young by Bob Dylan, which is not for the Forever Young that everyone thinks of. It's much more like, it's quite like a gospely, big uplifting number. It's really cool. And then I sang I Didn't Plan It from Waitress, which I didn't want to sing because the girl before me sang it, but they asked for it, so I had to do it.
Maybe you need the same thing, something to feel, to race through your blood and remind you you're here, to open your eyes and look around, to see the sky when you're on the ground. I didn't plan it, that's life, and I'm finally feeling alive. It's not right, but it's mine, and it's finally something to feel.
29th of November, that's when this is going to go out, and we'll be sat there watching you.
Oh, you have to let me know what you think.
Of course, yeah.
Good.
Of course. Well, thank you so much. It's been so lovely to chat with you and to get to understand the process of this odd situation that we're in with Rent.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I've had a great time.
Yay. Well, the best of luck with everything else, and I will no doubt see you at Chit Tuesday.
Yes, I will be there. I genuinely want to come. Genuinely.
Thank you.
Bye.